And there's only one map that is ranked very hard. And let me tell you, it is very fucking hard. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm off. This is what I mean about this fucking passion project video, bro. This shit, God. And Foundry gave me a lot of trouble to get through, but none of them hold a candle to Remains. The Soul map ranked very hard. If this interests you and it's something you're watching and thinking, I can do that, I so highly encourage you to download this and try it yourself. I promise you, this is a lot harder than it looks.
Huh. Yeah, I bet I could do that. Give me like 2 hours. Easy. What's up guys, EJ here, and as you might have been able to tell, I'm making this video because Point Break, aka Proximity, made a video titled Halo's Most Impossible Movement Challenge. If you couldn't tell by my channel, I love movement. And if you look at some of my earliest videos, you'll be able to see that this obsession actually did start with Halo 5. Back when I first started to grind Halo 5 in 2020, I quickly fell in love with this advanced movement and was obsessed with learning every single jump on every single competitive map. I was obsessed to the point that me and a couple of my friends would literally just run around base 343 maps and try and find jumps for hours on end. And this quickly paid off as my individual skill level rose quickly throughout the months. In that pre-infinite era, an average day on Halo 5 would look like playing 8s or 2s for a while, and then playing a jump map, and then running around on a base map for a while. But that's enough about my background. If you really want to know more, I have a 15-minute video essay on Halo 5's multiplayer that I strongly suggest you go check out. But yeah, before I saw this, I basically thought I had conquered all of Halo 5's hardest jump maps, so when I saw this, I knew I had to give it a try. And after I finished this video, I really did think in my head, yeah, let me play this map. This sounds like a 2-hour project for me. So let's hop right in and see if I have the movement to back up my ego. So to start, all you have to do is thrust slide over this gap with a fan. Pretty easy since the fan is there, it boosts you up so you don't really have to try. And at the start on these pipes, I was having some trouble finding a good spot to land, and I ended up clamoring that second pipe a lot like that. Sometimes I'd make it up like that, or sometimes I would just jump too late and die. Eventually I figured out by walking and jumping on the parts that are close to the wall, it's very easy to keep your footing and then thrust to the next launch. This part never really gave me any trouble. All you have to do is jump, hold, crouch, and then jump thrust while hugging the wall of each of these barriers. Fall down here and then jump thrust again. Nothing too hard for me there. So next is the section where you have to jump and then press a button and then keep jumping precisely to eventually hit a thrust. And while I was figuring out how to thrust slide under the barrier, I figured out that you can long jump all the way back to the start so you wouldn't have to die and restart the entire section 1 again. And eventually I figured out that you have to thrust really early so you're not too tall when you're trying to slide through the gap. And after you figure that out, it's pretty easy. You don't even have to hit a clean one. You can hit a pretty rough one like I just did there, and you can get through just fine. This other pipe section didn't give me very much trouble either. You just use the same jumping technique from the other pipe section, and then you can stall with a late jump on this ledge, and then just jump straight up to this final pipe and clamber. Then all you have to do is jump across, and then jump up to the catwalk, and you're good to walk to the final jump in this section. Now all you have to do is launch up across, and there'll be 2 switches. One of those switches opens the door to the next section, and the other one gives you access to the checkpoint, so you don't have to do the first section all over again to get to the second section. Now section 2 is by far the easiest with not much to explain, so I'm just going to let the music play while you watch me hit these jumps. To start section 3 off some tech, instead of doing a normal jump off this ledge down here, we're going to do a spring thrust, which gives us much more height and much more of a buffer to be able to bounce off this ledge and make it to the buffer. If you do a spring thrust, make sure you're falling to the middle of the left and waiting a second before jumping so you don't hit your head on the ledge above you. Now to get up onto the catwalk, you're supposed to jump on all 4 of these ledges and then jump thrust to the platform that extends out, but we're not going to do it like that. Instead, we're going to press the button, go to the back right of this railing, spring thrust all the way up here, late jump twice off this, and then jump thrust once we get our thrust back to clamber the catwalk. During Proximity's playthrough, no matter what vent he was at in the game, he would never stabilize to get in it. And I think stabilizing for this jump and the following jumps made it a lot easier to get farther and more consistently in section 3. So here's what a lot of my attempts ended up looking like. I'd stabilize into the first part, press the button, hit a quick crouch jump and thrust across, hit another stabilize, immediately do another stabilize, thrust for speed, and die. But finally, around 50 minutes into my attempts on section 3, this happened.
After my run, man, how was that even a question? I'm here.
Now there is one thing I did miss while doing these runs. I could have jumped on the railing there to skip this first wall jump and do everything a little bit faster, but in the end I made up for it with really clean movement throughout. And I was also able to live up to my word, beating the entire map in just one playthrough in just under 2 hours. But yeah, again, that was Remains by Zezno, and I'd like to give a big shout out to him for making the map and Point Break for making the original video on the map. I had a ton of fun with this. But yeah, that's all for now. Peace!